Hey, Coach, I guess first of all, a tough game. Guards are struggling. You guys are having a fight. How do you feel you guys were able to figure it out at the end, get the win?
I think our seniors played well tonight. Trace Jackson Davis played, another great game. Miller contributed. That loose ball was a big loose ball. And Race gave us minutes after coming off injury. He came in, did some things in the middle. He was tough, made some tough rebounds, and he had a tough defense assignment guarding battle.
All right, Tom, then Seth.
Yeah, sir. We've been spending the last 2 weeks comparing what Trace has done in each game to something that happened 15 years ago and not since 20 years ago. I mean, can you kind of wrap your hands around what these last couple of weeks have been like tonight, and how big was that offensive rebound on that missed free throw at the end?
Trace has been big time. I think his leadership has really been good. I mean, his leadership has been excellent. Just some of the things he's been doing the last, 3 or 4 games last week, it's just been amazing. And I think it's because he's finally healthy. He had some little nagging little injuries at the beginning of the year, but I think he's finally rounding into shape, and his health is coming back, and he's just been playing tremendous. I mean, for a guy that's at the top of the scouting report to do what he's doing, it's just amazing. I tell people all the time, I haven't been coaching that long, but I've been coaching about 21 years, and I've coached a couple of NBA guys. I mean, he's been unbelievable. He's probably been the best I've coached.
All right, Seth and Zach.
Kind of a multifaceted question here, but I guess when did you know Mike would be here tonight? How did that impact preparation for tonight? And I guess in reality, how did that kind of impact how you went about things both on the bench and in the locker room? And for you, kind of sitting in the school position on the side of the court, how do you kind of guide the team through that last stretch of the game?
I mean, the one thing I'll just tell you about Coach is this. Coach always says next man up. He always tells us as assistants, if something ever happens in the game, whoever scout it is, you guys will be the head coach. If I get too technical, you guys will be the head coach. So we're always prepared. He treats us like head coaches. He doesn't treat us like assistant coaches. He gives us a lot of say in what's going on. Obviously, he has the final say, but he asks our input a lot, and it's just a tribute to him and his confidence in us.
If I can follow up, just with the end of the game tonight, what were you telling the guys? How do you kind of get, you all really locked in defensively, held them scoreless for the last 3.5 minutes of that game. How did you guide this team through the end of the game?
I mean, that's what we're built on. I mean, that's what we work on every day. We work on defense every day. We weren't going to change anything that Coach Woodson has already been saying. So it was basically me just reiterating what Coach Woodson would say in the huddle. Obviously, he told me I can run a couple of my own ATOs. So I tried 1 or 2 of those. But, again, it's just what we're built on. I mean, coaches put a system in, and we live and die by it. So, our leader, he's always told us what we need to do, and that's what we do, and that's what our guys did tonight. We dug in defensively, got some stops, and here we are. We came out with a victory in a tough game on the road.
All right, Zach and then Wilson. Zach's on Zoom.
I guess, Coach, just as much as you're willing to share, essentially just you talked about digging in on defense late. What was being said in the huddles? What was maybe being conveyed between players in the huddles? I mean, I think the last 320 they didn't score. They missed something like their last 11 shots from the field. What just basically led to you guys sort of tightening up when you needed it there at the end?
Well, it's funny. The guys came in the huddle and they were very engaged. And you always like that as a coach for the guys to be engaged to what's going on the floor. We started switching at the end, and we just kept saying we got to guard the drive, because they were just going to milk the clock and try to get the matchup that they wanted and get one of our bigs on a switch and try to drive down and get some contact and try to get a foul and get to the foul line. So we just was in the huddle just saying we got to get stops. We got to put stops together. And all the guys were engaged. I mean, the bench guys, everybody, from the managers, everybody was just saying we got to get stops. We got to get stops. So it was a total team effort.
All right, Wilson on Zoom, then Rick Bozich.
Yes, here. They came out in a zone early on. I'm just wondering, what about that zone, what do you think it was that gave you guys some trouble there, especially in the first half?
You know what? Coming into the game, we knew they would do something because they had some guys out. And I know Ben pretty well, and I knew he was either going to be a 1-3-1 or a 2-3 zone. So going into the game, we were thinking about it, and we were prepared for the zone. But as you know, if you're not making shots, it's just tough. So we just had to pound the ball inside, get the ball up on the rim and try to, obviously, and Trace get some rebounds and kind of get some putbacks. So it really wasn't anything that was troubling us, I would say. I mean, if you're not making shots against the zone, it's just tough. I mean, it's not many trick plays you can come come up with. I mean, we had a couple good ATOs coming out of timeouts, but at the end of the day, if you're not making shots, you know, that zone, it seems like it just starts shrinking and shrinking. So, but our guys came up big and we made plays at the end, and that's what it's about on the road. Sometimes the shot's not gonna fall, but defense travels, and that's what we built on.
All right, Rick on Zoom and then back to Tom Brew.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Malik had 10 points in the first half and didn't play in the second half. Was he injured?
No, he wasn't injured. I think it was a matchup deal. I mean, we put him in the second half, and a couple of times they were playing small. So it was just a tough matchup for him. And actually, when he came off the floor, I talked to him about it. I pulled him to the side, like, look, big fella, there's nothing that you're doing wrong. But the matchups, I mean, they just kept driving us and getting fouls. And we were getting in foul trouble, and we were giving them easy baskets. So we had to kind of downsize a little bit so we could play these guys on the perimeter and switch. And I think, you know, that gave us the best chance to win. But it was nothing against him. It was nothing that he did wrong. He contributed in the first half, and his contribution was great.
All right, Tom, and then we'll wrap up with Mike.
How did you feel about just your comfort level with substitutions and patterns and timeouts and such? You know, it's a new thing when it's on your plate like that. How'd you feel like you handled all of that?
Well, Coach Walsh and Coach Kenya, they handled the substitutions, and I was just trying to coach and just trying to reiterate everything that, you know, I had a chance to talk to Coach and communicate with Coach. So, you know, we kind of game plan. We had the game plan coming in, and we just kind of stuck to the game plan. And then timeouts, I just tried to stay calm. You know, I always know as a player, I always used to look at my coach and make sure that he was calm. And when he was calm, it made us calm. So I was just trying to keep the guys calm in the huddle and just kept telling them that we're going to pull this thing out. We're going to have to pull it out defensively because our shots weren't falling. So.
Have you had to do this before? Take over as head coach for you?
No, I haven't. Never had to do this before. Only, I think I coached 12 and under one time, and then, you know, scrimmages in practice.
And you and Tamar Bates' baby, both undefeated.
You know, what's crazy. And today's my twin son's birthday. So it was even bigger for me, you know.
All right, Mike on Zoom, last one.
Yeah, coach, just along those lines of it being the first time you've done this, did you have nerves going into this game? Kind of, you know, who did you talk to kind of get your mind right?
You know what? I called everybody. I called my mentor, Kenny Payne. I forgot to call my head coach, Ernie Kent, but I know he's going to call me and probably curse me out. And then I called Coach Woodson, man. Coach Woodson is I mean, he gives me a whole lot of confidence. He's a guy that I think he leans on me for a lot of things. He leans on all of us as assistants. So, you know, going into the game, he gave me all the confidence in the world. He just said, hey, man, go have fun. You know, and just, you know, make sure you keep the guys together and just do what we do.
All right, thanks, yeah.
Thank you, guys.